All right, so that gives you some really good picture visuals of what those could look like with that damage as they come through. If we look at our damage scale, you should have this printed, or maybe it's up on your screen too. This also shows you what the category is, what kind of damage is expected, but the wind speed is really what is defining that category. So in a category 0, it's less than 73 miles per hour. So if you think back on those few that were in Idaho that were category 0, they really didn't have much damage at all, right? So, and then the other ones were a scale, category 1, and those were 73 to maybe 112 miles per hour. And moderate damage, maybe some surface of the roofs were torn off or things like that. So really not quite as serious, but pretty windy. Okay, listen, you're going to look at some damage pictures now, and I want you to look at these pictures and think about, whoops, it's showing you the answer. Let me go a little bit bigger. Okay. Think about what damage score you would give to these. So this one shows some trees toppled over. Whoops. Okay, that one gave you the answer. That's okay. This one shows some trees, a little bit of trees toppled over. The house is still there. The car is not tipped over or anything. So as you saw already, it's an F0 would be the scale on that one. Okay, not too serious. There was some pretty strong winds, and the tree, you can see there's hanging on the power line. So there is some considerable damage to be cleaned up, but not as serious as it could be, right? It could be much worse. So the first one, this is where I'm going to use my paper that I flipped over, the back side of my KWL chart. I want you to write a number 1, and I want you to tell me what scale it is. So it's an F0, and then I want you to tell me why. F0 because. Now, what kind of damage are we seeing? So you're going to write a nice complete sentence. Maybe I'll switch over the screen here so that you can see what I'm doing. There we go. It is an F0 because, and if we bring the picture back up, because there is little damage. Don't worry, I'll put this back on the screen when I'm finished. There is little damage. Some trees fell. That's really it. There is little damage. Let me erase my comma so this makes sense. Put an and here. There's little damage and some trees fell, and that really is all. Okay. Now, we don't really know, based on this picture, we don't know what the wind speed is. So there is no perfect exact answer unless we know what the wind speed was in that specific weather. But we can kind of guess, right, based on what the damage is. Now, let's take a look at the next one. Here's our next picture. Oh. Here we have, looks like the house was shifted over a little bit. The roofing, some of the roofing has been removed. Let's look at our damage scale here. It's more than F0 because we have a little bit more damage. Let's see if it would be an F1. Peels surface off roofs, homes pushed over, moving cars are blown off the road. Okay, that would be an F1. That sounds pretty close. Let's see what the next one is, F2. Roofs torn off houses, homes destroyed, large trees snapped or uprooted, objects thrown at high speed, cars lifted off the ground. So would you be leaning more towards F1 or F2 for this one? Is the whole roof torn off of the house? Well, let's look at the picture. No, the roof is there, just pieces are missing, right? So I would go with F1. So this would be, back to your paper, number 2 would be an F1, and I want you to explain why. Because, maybe you could say because the roof is missing parts of its surface, right? And that's really the difference between F1 and F2. If it's F2, the whole roof is gone. All right, let's take a look at the next one. F1, that's what they thought too. Well, I can't get that one to not show the answer. Let's see what you think. Okay, here we have a mobile home that's just totally busted up. It doesn't look like it's in the same place. Maybe it's been moved. Let's take a look and see. They said what did they say? F3 or F2? They're saying F2. So really, our pictures are kind of going in order, right? They said F2. Let's see if you agree. Mobile home is destroyed. Yeah, definitely. Do we see any trees snapped or uprooted in that picture? No, the trees all seem to still be there, but maybe that particular tornado didn't pass over the trees to pick them up and it went next to it. Okay, so we would say F2. Let's go along with what the picture said. I think that fits really well. And then because, what would you say? What's the really defining thing in that picture? Because the mobile home is destroyed or damaged. Mobile home was destroyed. All right, setting up for number 4. Let's take a look at the next one. Let me change this so that I can scroll. There we go. Okay, here comes the next one. Let's see if they're going in order. Definitely more severe damage. They're saying F3. So we can write that down, but let's look at our scale, F3, because let's look at our scale and see what F3 says. F3, roofs and some walls torn off well-constructed houses. Well, take a look at that. That looks like a well-constructed house, right? It's missing the roof, several walls are down. That makes sense. Trains might be overturned. Most trees are uprooted. Heavy cars are lifted off the ground and thrown. Let's see, do we see any of those other things? Look at the trees, totally stripped out. Pretty strong winds there, right? Yeah, definitely F3. So this picture shows us our trees are stripped out. It shows us roofs and walls torn off the house. So let's put that F3 because the roof and walls were torn off. Period. All right, let's keep going. I think we have some more here. We've got 2 more. All right, take a look at that. Oh my goodness. Now we're getting really scary, right? Really intense. Here's a picture of an F4. So let's go ahead and write that. Number 5, F4. We're just going to keep following along with the pictures here. It says for F4, whoops, there we go. It says devastating damage. Well-constructed houses now are destroyed. Weak structures are blown off some distance. So those weaker structures, they're actually picked up and moved away, blown away. Cars and large objects are thrown at high speed. Wow, 207 to 260 miles per hour. Very strong, fast winds. Okay, so number 5, F4, because what did it say about those well-structured, well-constructed houses are destroyed? Oh my goodness. That's what we'll say. Well-constructed. I'm going to put buildings because that looks like it's more than just homes in that picture. Well-constructed buildings, not were destroyed. Okay, if I'm writing really fast, you guys can go ahead and pause to catch up, okay? Pause anywhere you need to. All right, last picture. This one's going to be a total mess. Oh my goodness. Look at that. So if you look at F4, do you see how the buildings are just destroyed? There's just damage. Look at this last one, this F5. It has literally picked up the house and moved it. It destroyed it, but it picked up the house and moved it and destroyed it. So crazy. Let's look at how big the winds are there. 261 and higher. It says to 318, but that's just because that's the biggest it's been measured probably. Really, it's 261 and faster, anything faster than that. Strong houses lifted off their foundations and swept away. Swept away is a good use of words there, because doesn't it look like somebody just took a gigantic broom and just swept it? Swept the dust into a pile, swept the house into a pile of house and whatever is in it. Automobile-sized objects fly through the air, oh my goodness, in excess of 109 yards. That's pretty far. Trees are debarked. The wind is blowing so hard, it pulls the bark off the trees. That's crazy. Incredible things will occur, absolutely. The wind is so strong, you just can't even believe the things that it's capable of doing. So if we come back to our paper, this would be F5. We write because, and what do we see in this? The house is swept away, isn't it? The house was, let's go back to that. I want to see what the wording is. Strong houses lifted off foundations and swept away. Okay. There we go. Because the house was lifted and swept away. Yeah, the wind was not just damaging the building anymore. It was so strong, it literally picked up the house and moved it away and dropped it, and it just destroyed that whole building. That is a very strong wind, my goodness. Okay, so again, we are very fortunate that we don't live in an area that has the threat of these tornadoes. When we do see them, we are looking at damage at the top of our screen here, right? These first few pictures, we might have some trees falling down, or maybe this would be pretty serious on the F1 side, with roofs, surfaces being peeled away a little bit. But really, this would be the most common that we would see if a tornado developed and it touched down on the ground, okay? So now that we know how that damage happens, how we can measure that, our next activity then is to go into our safety handout, and we're going to use all of this information to come up with a brochure that you would give to someone to say, okay, these are the things that you need to be aware of if there is a tornado, if you're in an area that may be likely exposed to tornadoes. So let me just bring up my document camera one more time. So let me back out just a little bit. What you're going to do is you're going to take, this is just a full sheet of computer paper that I've taken out of my printer, and I've just folded it into 3 parts. So you fold once this way and once this way. And then I want you to label the front Tornado Safety Brochure. This is like your title of your brochure, okay? And you're going to use the information from that safety handout to fill in your brochure. So let's see what the first topic is. Early tornado warning signs. That's something that people really need to be aware of, right? So maybe we could put that inside our brochure on one side. Maybe we'll open it up and we'll put that in on this side. Early tornado, what did I call it? Let's see, early tornado warning signs. And with the brochure, Maybe you want to underline that if it's your title of that section. With a brochure, all you're really going to do is make bullet points. You're just going to list things. So we want to put a dot here, and we can add in some of these things that we want people to be aware of, to watch for when there are tornadoes coming. Whirling dust or debris, we could put that. Okay, you don't have to write everything word for word. You can just kind of generalize those if you want to. Whirling dust or debris, a funnel of wind, wind extending, this would be a good one because we need to know that it's coming from a cloud, extending from a thundercloud. We call those funnel clouds, right? If it's coming down, and if it's starting to reach the ground or get it, you know, you can watch them form in the cloud, and then they don't always touch the ground. We see them around here, I don't know, maybe once or twice a year around the Palouse, around the Pacific Northwest. We see them on the news where they're formed in the sky, but they don't hardly ever touch the ground. But you want to be concerned of it being a tornado if it, what does it say? If it reaches the ground, a funnel extending from a thundercloud to the ground. Okay, I'm not going to fill all of this in for you. I want you to pick and choose what you want to write in there, but that's really how you're going to start that. You're just going to put bullet points, put these bullet dots, just heavy bold dots, and then you're going to write in those each signs that you want to include in there. Okay, now we have all of these different sections in our brochure, right? We could draw a picture of a tornado happening on here if you wanted, and then we have all of these little sections that we can add pieces on in our brochure. So you have 6 total. What's really great is one of them is just your front page, and so you kind of only have to include information on 5. That's cool. So let's see. Now we have 2 pages in our safety handout, and so you could do what to do on this one. What to do if ... and could do it here, and then it could continue into here too, right? Because it gives you all these different scenarios. So you have a house with a basement, a house with no basement, or a dorm or an apartment, an office building, if you're in a mobile home, or if you're at school. What's on the next page? Oh, lots of other what ifs, what to do, okay? And then on the back, you could put after the tornado, okay? What to do after. And then do your bullet points there, okay? And then you would be all done. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't put that on screen, did I? Okay. Here we go. So title, you've got your early warning signs on the inside. What to do if. So you can put, this is your title for that whole section, right? One would be house with basement, right? Is one. And then you would list all of those things underneath. What you want to do is if you have a main bullet point here, and then you want to indent a little bit and maybe do a star for each of the things you want to list there. And then for the next one, come back over with your dot. Let's maybe call this no basement, basement, I'm writing fast, apartment, and so on for that next section, right? And then again, star, star for those details, what to do in there, and so on. Now that list was really long, right? So it's going to carry over. You're going to have a couple more here, and then you're going to keep going here. Same thing, school, and so on, okay? And then on the back is where you would put all of that information for after the tornado. Underline your title there. After the tornado, what kinds of things you're going to do there, Okay, and if you need more room, you have this last little section to continue on. Okay, sound good? All right, I'm going to leave you on your own. Now, the great thing about brochures too is you can draw pictures. Definitely draw a picture on the front. This is your front, right, of your brochure when it's all folded up. Have a picture here. Maybe you have a picture of a tornado coming, and here's the land, and then you have a house. I'm drawing a really sloppy house, but you know what I'm doing. You know what I mean, right? Draw a nice picture there. And if you have extra room, if you have some blank spaces on these pages, you could draw some other pictures and on the back as well, okay? Really take the time to make that look nice. All right, good luck to you. I hope you had fun learning about tornadoes and how they can be measured and what kind of damage they have, and also understanding how safe we are here in Idaho, that we don't really have to worry about tornadoes happening or causing any serious damage. All right, have a good time making your brochure.